Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. The Dallas Cowboys have canceled practice for today. No practice. They will not be on the field, and they're beginning the process of cutting down the roster. We got to go from 80 players down to the 53-man roster. And it's funny because Mike McCarthy is trying to, they've got players. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that you got to understand. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of talented people. A lot of talented people. And the problem for them is there's guys that they do not want to lose. Now, you're going to have a practice squad, right? So you're able to get some of those players on the practice squad. Which is great, but the reality is people can steal guys that you have on a practice squad. So if you brought somebody in and he's looking really, really good, but you're not sure that he's good enough to be on the 55-man roster, you want to put him on the practice squad. And you want to be able to develop this guy in case you need to bring somebody up on the practice squad that you think is deemed good enough to play. You don't want people to have film out on this guy. You know, this is one of those things. The reason why it's more important this year, or you're able to actually get away with it more this year, is because there's no preseason games. So unless you've been in there with practice for the Cowboys, you don't know which of these guys might be ballers because there's no film out on them. You know, if they were an undrafted free agent, you brought them in and they look really, really good. You didn't play them any preseason games where another team could say, hey man, who is that guy? Let's take a look at him. So by them doing the scrimmage with no numbers and not showing anything on the field, this gives you a little bit of an advantage as you go to make cut downs. Because you may gamble and say, you know, I'll give you a great example. And it could have been one of those great players. We saw flashes of it. But think about this. David Irving was on the Kansas City's practice squad. We ended up picking him for the practice squad. Now, his problem wasn't that he couldn't play football because the guy was an absolute positive beast. Had we not known that that guy could have played, we wouldn't have had an opportunity at it. And that's the way Mike McCarthy's looking at this season, that he may have a David Irving that's on the roster, but doesn't want other teams to be able to say, hey, let's grab that guy off the practice squad. So I can actually see the reasoning behind it. It sucks for us as fans because we all got hyped up about the possibility of seeing some action because, you know, let's face it, we've seen nothing since the Super Bowl. And at least if we had an inter-squad scrimmage, we could look at our guys and start being hopeful. But Jerry Jones was told, do not show any wide shots, do not show any players. We do not want anybody to look at anything that we do and understand it or be able to take our players. It's going to be interesting to see who gets cut because I think that we have some players that will get cut off this roster that will be on other teams. And it'll be interesting to see if the Dallas Cowboys see some guys out there that are cut and make a move. Now, we don't have tons and tons of money. We have about $15 million of cap space. If we end up cutting some valuable price value wise, veterans, you're going to be able to increase that amount of money that you're carrying over for next year or use it towards another veteran player because there will be some veteran players, as we've seen guys like Leonard Fournette cut. And I'm not suggesting we need Leonard Fournette. We don't. But you're going to see some valuable veteran players that still have some tread that have just become too expensive for teams. And you may see the Dallas Cowboys kick the tires. One thing the Dallas Cowboys like to do is they like to wait until the end of training camp, see what they have as far as the players go, you know, how well they play in the system, and then look for some value in free agency in this final wave where guys are out on the streets. So we'll see what happens. I look to see that the Cowboys may make a move or two just in case, and it may be at safety. I don't think it's going to be Earl Thomas, but, you know, who knows. But the Dallas Cowboys, you honestly have to look at this team right now with everything that's gone on, with the talent that's right there on this team. The Dallas Cowboys are probably all in on this season, looking and saying, we got a chance. We have enough talent. We have a new coach. People don't know what we're going to be doing, that we may have an advantage, that it's worthwhile to take a chance on a player or two. And in comparison to other teams, it's always the Dallas Cowboys are in big trouble. But right now, what we have tied up for our roster for next year is about $173 million. Worst case scenario is the salary cap goes down to $175, and we hopefully will carry over that $15 million to next year, which gives us 17. And you have either Dak Prescott at $37 million, or you sign him to a long-term deal, in which case you can make that first year very team-friendly and fit him in. So we're actually in a pretty good space, as opposed to the New Orleans Saints, who currently have tied up for their roster $256 million, or the Eagles that have $263 million. They've got some real issues for next year. But I'll definitely be talking about that tonight with Philly 500. We're going to be doing a live stream together. I've been over here in my lane, dealing with my Dallas Cowboys, but Philly 500 has been calling me out, been talking about me all off season. So I hit him last night. I'm going on his channel tonight, and he says, I'll play nice. We know how nice you'll play. Yeah, we know how. I bet it's a hatchet job waiting for me. But just remember, Philly, karma is coming to get you, and the bills are now due. So we'll see you tonight, 6:30 Eastern on Philly 500's channel. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Whew. All right, got some errands to run. Got to take care of getting some stuff from my mama. Got to take care of mom and dad. And I got to go out and get some more cables for the studio as I work on getting that ready for next week. I'm Mark Holmes. And somebody said every time I say I'm Mark Holmes that they think it's like Motel 6 and we're going to keep the lights on. Peace.